All right, we'll start with 3 ohms. Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Bhurvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Saram, brothers and sisters, we have an exciting program for you all today. Before we get started, I want to thank Brother SLN, Janet, and Brother Raja, who always take a lot of trouble and effort to pull this webinar together. We're going to start with Dr. Rashmi is going to share some particular information with all of us. And then after that, we'll be hearing from Brother Dimitris. So go ahead, Sister Rashmi.
Sairam, everyone. I have a few important announcements to make. I hope everyone can hear me. So we have some dates that we would like for you to save those dates to attend these events. The first one is tomorrow, 5th of March. We have a public webinar for the first time with Heart to Heart Foundation in collaboration with Indian Philanthropy Alliance. They have this thing called India Giving Day, which they started from this year. The actual India Giving Day was on the 2nd of March, 2023. But they are allowing us to have this webinar session tomorrow, 5th of March at 5:30 p.m. PST. If you have not already registered for it, we request you to kindly register for it. It's going to be an interesting program. We will have Dr. Subramanian from the Delhi Sanjeevani Hospital giving a talk session and a Q&A. And also Dr. Sunny Anand presenting about the medical college. And, you know, we are also waiting for some interesting individuals to reply to our invitations, and we have an interesting program for you. After that, towards the end of the month, on the 25th of March, we have another important event in Atlanta. It is a banquet dinner program and fun and entertainment program, also attended by Brother Isaac Tigred for supporting the Clarksdale Free Medical Clinic. And that is a physical event, though, for which you will have to register and try to be there. 25th March evening is the program. It's on a Saturday. So if you guys can all make it there, we'll be happy to meet you there as well. And of course, the most awaited date, which we are announcing formally, is the 16th of April, when we will have a divine satsang with Swami Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai himself in San Jose, California. I think the registration forms have already been released through our group emails. If you have not received it, please go back and check or contact one of us. The exact venue will be discussed soon, but that is again going to be a late afternoon going into an evening kind of an event on the 16th of April. So those are the 3 dates we want you to save, and hope to see you there in all the events. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you, Sister Rashmi. My brothers and sisters, we're delighted to have Brother Dimitris with us. You know, Brother Dimitris deserves no introduction. He's really what we call a prodigy. He's what Swami calls a Gandharva, which is really a celestial musician that he has brought down from the heavens to help him on his mission on earth. And if you think about Brother Dimitris, who's really the ability to, you know, play 30 plus instruments. In fact, you could give him an instrument now, he'll pick it up in 5 minutes. But the fact that he came to India in 2015 to the ashram and then taught all these predominantly rural boys and girls to, you know, form a band, create a symphony orchestra, which is now, you know, winning kudos and laurels all over. It's just amazing. And, you know, we've had a lot of opportunity to directly interact with Brother Dimitris. He's just a lovely person, great sense of humor, a pleasure to be around. And so without further ado, I'd love to turn this over to Brother Dimitris and have him share his experiences with us. Over to you, Brother Dimitris.
It seems like Vivek loves me too much. I would like to start with we're thinking that I guess you have some questions, how I came here and how I got to know Swami. And I guess there are many questions that I would like to ask. And first of all, if you have some questions, post the questions and then Mehran and Vivek will give it to me. So the session has to be a little bit more interactive. But if you want me to start how I came to Swami in early 90s, just let me know. If you already know, we can skip that. Should I start with that?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes.
Please.
So I was born in Greece, and around like 16 years old, 17, I was reading all these books about the Indian philosophy and everything. And then I came across a book of Sai Baba talking about him. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I want to go to India. And that particular year, I found some devotees in Athens, Greece. So I found some kind of a sender, a Sai sender. So basically, I joined the sender, and then around 1991 or something, I came to India. And of course, I saw Sai Baba. I realized what he's all about. And around 1995, he told me, you are going to teach my students in an interview with some other people from Greece. And then 96, for some reason, he brought me here into Muddenahalli. And I was in Whitefield, and he came outside, and he looked at me, he said, where are you going? I said, Swami, to put a party with everybody. He said, no, come with me. And he brought me here at Premdip, basically. But he didn't tell me anything about this place or the future, that it will be, my future will be here. After that, I moved to Paris, I moved to London, and then finally, I moved to New York. And I stayed there for almost 17 years. So I was coming to India back and forth. Last time I saw Swami was 2011, January, February. And they told me also to teach the students. They remember me because I used to make the music for the Greek dramas that Swami was telling us to do in 1995, 96, 97, something like that. So Swami wanted us to, the Greek devotees, to create dramas about Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Alexander, and some other dramas. For example, it was about Astavakra, Gita, and all that kind of stuff. So some of the students and some of the teachers, actually, they remember me. So in 2010, I was there. And last time, of course, 2011, they told me to, if I can teach. So then I thought, that's what it is. And there are some other kind of experiences and some other things that happened basically in 2012. Some kind of metaphysical experiences, which I'm not really fond of all those kinds of things. But Swami here verified about all those kinds of weird experiences that I had. And actually, he told me to write all of them and if you read the Story Divine, Volume 2, they are there. Anyway, it was some kind of a weird, very weird experience that I was able to see Swami, which I don't believe those kinds of things, to be honest. So with all that, basically, I came here. And 2015, January, I came to this place. And then he took me up there for interview, and he told me, with some other people from Greece, basically, and he told me that come for my birthday and play. I will tell Shiv Kumar Sharma to include you in the program. So then, after that, I went back to New York, and then I came to San Francisco. After that, he told me the same thing and everything. And then I went to London, and finally I came here. And 2015 birthday, on the 23rd of November, you know, I played my program, or any, it was some kind of kind of group program, but some kind of individual parts. So I played my part, and then I went for Namaskar. So when I went for Namaskar, he said, stay here. I told you many years ago that you have to teach my students. You never done anything. And now is the time. Give up your life in New York. I said, okay, fine. He said, I'll see you in the morning. So in the morning, I went to Prem Deep, and I was talking to Shiv Kumar Sharma, and he was telling me, because he was before me to go for interview with his family. And he started telling me, I told him that Swami told me this and that. And he said, you know, take this opportunity like nothing else. He never called me to be with him, to live with him, to teach the kids, and or anything like that. You're so lucky. He was telling me all kinds of things. And so after him, I went up there. He started telling me, now is the time. Give up everything. I know you have a big contract. I was supposed to go to Los Angeles. There was some kind of a movie in Hollywood. So I was supposed to go there and make music for that movie. And he told me exactly the number, how much money. It was about, I think, $20 million, something like that. He told me the exact number. He told me all kinds of details. So he said, are you going to stay here? I said, yes, you told me to stay. You want me to stay or not? He said, stay here. We have lots of things to do. I said, okay, fine, I'll stay. So after that, he told me, go and see my students. I have a brass band from my student, and they're playing all these brass instruments and everything. I said, okay, fine. So then what happened? I went to see the boys, and believe it or not, it was some kind of a marching band, like colonial marching band. I was like, what is this? And they started playing, and it was horrible. Oh my God. I was like, what is this? And of course, I look at the kids, and I was kind of mesmerized seeing all these kids who I knew that they are from all these rural areas, and they're trying to play and everything. But what is this thing here? You know, but by looking at the kids, I was, something happened to me. I don't know. So then after that, I came down and I went to my room, and I was thinking, what is all that? He told you, all my friends were calling me, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? I said, I'm not coming back. What do you mean you're not coming back? I'm not coming back, I said. So they were like, what's wrong with you? So I said, I'm going to stay there. I'm going to teach some kids and they're like, I mean, you teach at NYU, you want to leave your job there in New York and be in India and teach some kids. Where is this place? So then I was trying to find the place on Google Maps, and it wasn't it wasn't there. So then I sent the coordinates, and they look at this and they said, this place is not. I mean, what is this place? There is 1, 2 buildings there. What are you going to do there? I said, don't worry, don't worry. I'm not coming. Okay, done. They were like, something is wrong with this guy. All of a sudden, he went to India. He told us he was going to come back. We have all kinds of projects. And now he's telling us he's not coming. And he wants to teach some kids. So anyway, I went back to see the boys. And I was trying to show them something, to correct. I told Swami, I'm not the appropriate person for this job. I don't know why you chose me. He said in that interview, he said, no, you are. The children are going to love you like nothing else, and you have lots of love for children. I said, Swami, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with children because I never done it. I was teaching only some kind of advanced level, teaching composition, orchestration, and then I was into some kind of artificial intelligence in music, interactive systems, microtonal music, avant-garde music. I'm not into these kinds of things. But Swami was insisting that the students are going to love you, and they are going to love you more than me. That, I said, is not going to happen. So anyway, I remember all those things that he told me in my mind, and then I said, okay, do what he says, stop thinking, okay, and just go forward and figure it out, okay? He told you to stay here and do this kind of job. Why you are like going back and forth and thinking all kinds of things and you are wasting your time? So then the next day I said, okay, done. I will figure it out. So I was trying to fix all kinds of things with the students. I was very scared if I say something, if I do something and I hurt them. That was my biggest nightmare because I knew I never dealt with this kind of age. So, and I thought, these children are coming from a rural background, and they had hardship in their lives. I don't want to do something that will hurt them. So anyway, after a while, he told me in that interview, 24th of November, in 1 month, I want you to create a program for Christmas with Christmas carol and some other songs. I wasn't too much into Christmas carol and things like that in my life. And I didn't really know the songs much. Somebody told me there is someone from Puttaparthi that has some scores and he can give you scores and everything. But that person didn't want to give the scores. So then I sat down myself to write the scores, to choose the pieces, the Christmas carol, and I started writing. But the problem is, when I started writing, I never wrote for this kind of level. I was always writing for professionals and people like that. And when I was writing something a little bit more difficult, I was like, they are not going to play, and that is going to sound bad. When I was trying to write something simple, then I thought that is going to sound very simple and very bad. So it was so difficult for me, I realized, to write for the kids. So anyway, I wrote the scores, then I taught them, I corrected some things. The clarinets were sounding like crying cats. All kinds of things I had to correct. Anyway, but when I was looking at them, when I was every day, something happened to me, and I started really loving them and seeing them that they trying to play something to please Swami, and they for sure they have lots of talent. I felt that this is it, okay, and I was feeling really good by going there and see the kids from rural areas trying to do something good and trying to play music. For me, the whole day I was really happy. I was really content with the whole thing. So I was like, okay, something is good. Is happening. I don't know. Anyway, so after that, 10 days before the concert, 10 days before Christmas, the students were basically progressing like, not like this. They're progressing like that. Like today, for example, they were here in this level. Then the next day, that level, that level. It was some kind of miracle, believe it or not. And I couldn't believe, like 10 days before the concert, they were like progressing like that. And so we played, and Swami started saying, he's such a good teacher. He knows all these instruments. He's teaching all the kids. The kids love him. I was like, where is this coming from all of a sudden? I mean, me, I was so not frustrated. I was trying to make it happen and everything, and I was so much engrossed into myself, how to make it happen. And all of a sudden, oh, he's such a good teacher and all that kind of stuff. I thought maybe he's playing some kind of a game. He's trying to inflate me and then take a pin and boom. Anyway, so and he was extremely happy. The kids were very happy. And after that, we had to play for sportsmen, and they played even better. And Swami started saying the same thing, even more. I was like, okay. So month after month, they were progressing even more and more, and the brass band reached a very good level after a while. And then we decided with Swami to make it a symphony orchestra because Swami likes classical music. That was right before COVID, basically. So we got the strings, and then we tried to make a symphony orchestra. And of course, COVID created some kind of a mess. But the point is, all these years, you know, in the beginning, I thought I'm doing something for Swami, and Swami told me, and I will do it. But I ended up basically enjoying what I'm doing more than than anybody else. Being with young kids and knowing that they're coming from all these villages. Imagine you are looking at this kid, and imagine that this kid will have been in some kind of a village, walking barefooted, no education, no future, no no food, no proper food, okay? And this kid is here, and not only that, and trying to play an instrument and learn all these beautiful values, human values, and and Swami give them guidance to follow some kind of a profession or something like that. And but having this kind of idea in your head, like looking at those kids, you look how talented they are. Look what they can do. And imagine these kids, they wouldn't have had an opportunity to study, and now they're doing all these wonderful things. For me, it was that was the main point. But the thing is, all these years, the things that they kept me, let's say, not alive, but why I stayed here, why I did all that. It was things like that that I saw around me. And finally, I realized there is no job like that. For example, you are a musician, okay? When you are a musician, what are you going to do? Myself, they started telling me bravo, 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 bravo since I was 5 years old when I started playing music. And then you play a concert for, let's say, few people, and then you want to play a concert with more people, more recordings and everything. But I never thought that there is something like that. You can spread your knowledge, especially to people who do not have an opportunity. For me, the whole thing, I believe Swami took me from this level to that level, all the way up. That's what I believe, by giving me this job. And to be honest, this job, I hate the word job. This job became a joy for me. And finally, I don't know who is serving who. Am I serving the kids or the kids are serving me? Because when I am with them and we are doing all those kinds of things, it gives me lots of joy. And I really like what I'm doing. So many years ago, I remember I read a book about Albert Schweitzer, and he was some kind of a great musician, but he went to Africa, and he became also a doctor, and he went to Africa and he was helping kids there and everything. And I was like, it would have been nice to have a platform like that at some point and share your knowledge, not with all these students. For example, at NYU, there are all these students who are coming from around the world and with all these ambitious parents, and they pay so much money to study at NYU, and they feel like after they graduate, they're going to basically have a good job, or they're going to go to Hollywood and make some music for film, or become a great composer, or write songs and become known. Nobody has this kind of spirit that we have here. Basically here, we are not creating students. We are creating teachers. That's the point, okay? And all these students are going to expand the mission, and they are going to become teachers and help the next generation. That is not happening anywhere in the world. So I never seen something like that. So all those kinds of things played a significant role for me to do what I'm doing. And they open my heart more, and I try to figure it out. Although, as I told you, I was feeling that I was the most inappropriate person for this job. That's what I told Swami, that I don't know how to deal with kids and all that. But because of those things, those small things, that they opened my heart and I was excited about it, I found a way how to make it happen. And the point is, you know, someone who has lots of skills and is very talented, very gifted, and knowing all kinds of instruments, knowing all kinds of things, it doesn't mean anything. All those things can be a big obstacle. But what I wanted to do with the students, I wanted to become a friend. I don't like the idea of being a teacher and sitting there and, you know, be so strict and everything. So I don't like this kind of concept. So especially with the kids I'm talking about. So I wanted to become the best friend and come closer. And finally, if some of you are wondering, how is it possible by one person to go in the middle of nowhere, get some rural kids and make them play up to a certain level? The secret is basically, without even knowing, I created teachers instead of creating students. So imagine that there is some kind of a pyramid, and I'm sitting, let's say, on the top, and I have, after me, there are few students, the advanced ones. So I teach them, and then they teach the next batch of students, and the next, and the next, and the next. And what happened, finally, one person can teach all these people, basically. So it is an orchestra of basically teachers. The elder students are teaching the younger, and it goes like that, like that, and like that. So that was the way how I thought that is going to happen, because to do my job with all these kids, I needed, I don't know, 10 people basically to do something like that. So finally, what I thought back then, it would have been great if I create students who can teach everybody, because I don't have people. I didn't have people to help me. So if some of you, and even Swami says, oh, he's such a good teacher, he's so good, how he does all those kinds of things and everything. But today I realize, I mean, all these years I realized, not that is not true, but I will give you another perspective, that there are many aspects. First of all, it's a collective effort from all of you, starting from the devotees who are supporting this mission, okay, and supporting these children. So it's not only me, all right? Secondly, all right, let's say first, okay, start with who bought the instruments. The devotees bought the instruments. Who is supporting all these children? The devotees are supporting all these children, right? Then, of course, many people are thinking, oh, this guy about me has magical powers, maybe, and he touches someone and can play in few months or something like that. That is not true. I cannot perform miracles. And Swami basically doesn't want himself to perform miracles. He wants us to work very hard. He likes the human effort. He doesn't like you know, for all of us, it would have been nice to come to India and, you know, Swami touch our head or something and everything can happen magically. But Swami, unfortunately, doesn't do something like that. He wants us to work on the project. Whichever project he gives us, he wants us to put lots of human effort with all our heart. So slowly, I will minimize my role, starting with devotees who are supporting. Secondly, this school here is based on human values, okay? It's a value-based educational system. That makes my life much easier because those kids, the mind of those kids is not like all over the place, okay? Then, if I try to explain to you what is the educational system here, briefly, then you will understand more how easy it is for me. Imagine those kids are waking up at around 4:30, and 5 o'clock they start with some prayers, and then a little bit of yoga, and 6 o'clock they are coming for practice until 7, music I'm talking about. Then they are going back, they're taking a shower and they're eating breakfast, and 8 o'clock they have to start the classes for 4 hours. After that, there is lunch, then they rest for a while, and after that they study. 4:30 they have to come for practice, for music practice I'm talking about, okay? Around 5:30, 5:45 they finish. 6 o'clock they have to be at the hall for prayers for half an hour. After that is dinner, and now is the most important thing that I believe that makes a difference. After dinner, they're going for a class, a Paravidya class, spiritual knowledge, if we translate the word Paravidya, and they are learning Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and all these wonderful things. Okay, imagine if a kid sleeps with those kinds of thoughts, okay, and wake up the next morning. For example, if you sleep with a thought that in Vedas it says, for example, the body was given to us only to serve others, and you sleep with that thought, and you learn that shloka, and you wake up in the morning and that is ringing in your head, and you go through the same schedule the next morning. Imagine all of us that we slept with some kind of irrelevant movie. We slept with some kind of, let's say, video game or some, you know, all kinds of things. But imagine that those kids are, before they sleep, they listen to all these, the highest of the highest thoughts. We like it or not, India is the place that all these higher thoughts originated from here. That is the, and is the birth land of spirituality and philosophy and everything. And imagine those kids are learning all that, along with music, along with academics and all those kinds of things. So that makes my life even easier, okay? And this is a very important part. And here, this institution is not creating competitive students or students who are going to crack the market in the future or compete with each other or make lots of money and have a very comfortable life. We are trying to create students who are going to help the next generation. We are creating basically not students. Swami wants to create teachers who are going to take the whole thing forward. This is another important parameter to the whole thing. So basically, I believe that what happened all these years, because many people saying, oh, you're doing such a great job. And, you know, there are even musicians who, even my friends now, they see the videos and they are really, they cannot believe that something like that can happen. And then, of course, I try to explain to them the system, this, that. Even someone yesterday, he said, I mean, I hear that every day. He said, what you are doing, nobody can do it. I never seen anything like that. But people do not know the truth behind all that. And the truth is, there are many aspects. Okay, there are many people who are helping the educational system. Of course, it is some kind of a divine will. Okay, it is Swami's will behind everything. Okay, fine, but some kind of human effort has to be there. Okay, the educational system, the purity of the place. Okay, there are teachers and people here who are extremely dedicated. Okay, let's not forget them. Okay, but the problem is the nature of my job is so fancy, and it goes on the stage and it looks so glorious, and the music and everything, and it looks like nobody is working more than me or something like that. But the truth is, that's why I was trying today. I thought that I have to kind of demystify myself, or tell you the truth, not demystify only, but tell you the truth, what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, so this is the main point. This is what happens here, and because of all that, I'm able, one person, to do all kinds of things. I'm not saying I don't have the knowledge. I don't know. I know all these instruments, and I'm still learning new instruments every day. I have a list of instruments that I want to learn. I never actually stop, to be honest with you. But that is not the point. If I was, for example, someone who knows all this instrument, knows many things, and looking at the kids and is like, what am I doing here? What are these kids? First of all, we have to understand the concept of global family that is called Vasudeva Kutubakam in Sanskrit. I never felt these are not my kids. These are some kids in India, and I have to do it because Swami told me to do it. And if I do that, Swami will give me moksha or something like that. From the first moment, I felt these are my own kids. That's what I think. I had this kind of feeling. I never thought that, oh, okay, I'm teaching those kids here. Swami told me Swami is God, and Swami will be very happy. And after that, Swami will give me, I don't know, self-realization, will give me, I don't know what he can give me. I never care about that, to be honest with you. I felt these kids are only my kids, okay? And I have to make them sign. I didn't feel that, oh, this is not my country. These are not my people. You know, all these kinds of things that we can think. I was lucky enough to have this kind of feeling, and that also helped me to do my job much better. Imagine if I was in a certain school and the parents are paying some kind of a fee, and they bring their kids and they tell you, I want my son to play piano, like cue, all kinds of things, and you don't feel like, or you feel like, okay, it is your son, okay, but the feeling that I got from these kids was totally different. That is the main point. So that helped me tremendously, and I still feel now I feel that they are my friends, and I'm hanging out with my friends. And when I go there to see them, what they are doing, and I sit there, I most likely sometimes I'm bothering them because I go there like a friend who wants to fool around, and sometimes they send me back, say, okay, go back. Fine, we are practicing right now. We'll call you when we need you. So it was the feeling of becoming a friend and not becoming a teacher. And also inside of me, very deeply, I felt these are my own kids, and there is no difference. These are my own friends. This is my own family. So these are the things that made the whole thing so easy for me. I don't know if I answered most of the questions, and if you have any questions. Vivek and Mehran, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it was outstanding. But I'm going to have Mehran get some questions to you, Brother Dimitris.
Dimitris, first of all, I have to say that we are so grateful, brother, for you sharing your experiences. And not only there are devotees from USA listening to you, there are devotees from Argentina and other places that are sending their love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
one of the, let's see, the first question is that it says some of your students are extremely talented musicians. How did you find out about their abilities? They must have had lessons previously.
In general, this place, India, in general, the people from all those villages, they might not have food, proper education, and medical care, but they are blessed and very gifted with the talent of music. I never seen anything like that. People from those villages are so talented, in general. In India, the level of talent is extremely high. I'm talking about music. And I think because of certain reasons, music is not very much supported. The parents want their kids to pursue something else, something that is very profitable. They feel like music is not profitable. Music is some kind of a hobby. Unfortunately, India, it wasn't like that. India was the center of knowledge, the center of arts in ancient times. And the whole world learned from India, let's be honest. Okay, even the Greeks came here and they studied in Taxila and Nalanda. And the Greek civilization started from India, basically. Okay, and the Western civilization started from Greece, but the lineage go back to India. So 99% of my students have a big talent, okay? Believe it or not, all these years, I've been here for the last 8 years, I've seen only 3 students that they didn't have talent. They didn't have that kind of talent. Only 3. The rest of the students have like lots of talent. Now I have few students who are playing 4, 5, 6, 7 instruments, and they play piano. And you know, they didn't start piano at the age of 5 that I started. And they started piano. There is this boy who's playing a flute, Indian flute for bhajans. And I told him a few months ago, or less than a year, I told him, he's also playing violin. He's one of the first violins. So I told him, start learning piano. No, 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 no. I said, start learning piano. But I cannot. He played, last time he played a Chopin Nocturne. I don't know if you recognize this boy. I'm talking about less than a year. The people will think that I do something magic. I do some kind of magical trick and I make the kids play. So I have few students who are going to become music teachers, and they know all kinds of instruments. And a few days ago, we got a gold medal in Western music. So in our university, our students, 3 students actually went for this competition and they got the gold medal. And our university now is representing India in Asia. So we're going to go to the next round of competition.
Wow. Oh.
Amazing.
Yeah. But the point is, these are talented people from the nature. Okay, sometimes the nature gives you, you don't have all these luxuries, food, this, that became a luxury anyway. But you have music talent and you are very intelligent, but you don't have an opportunity to study at the same time. And if there are some people like you that have a heart to do something good, and Swami, of course, inspire all of us to do something like that, these people prove that they can do so well. They're extraordinary people. Okay, imagine if people like you weren't there and Swami wasn't there, these people would have gone to waste. But it's true that they have extraordinary talent. That's what it is.
Thank you, Dimitris. The next question is resonating with my heart. I have the same question simply because when I was a kid and I was growing up in a different country, currently I'm in USA, and playing music for children, Dimitris, believe it or not, was taboo. It was not approved. Parents were saying, if you play music, it will affect you. So the next question I would like to ask you from one of the audience, it says, why is music and bhajan so important in the curriculum?
In
the curriculum, the courses that the students have to take.
The thing is, music in our times and musicians lost their path. If you listen to music from 80s, I'm talking about songs, going to 90s, going to 2000s, and coming to our times, music is becoming worse and worse and worse. The lyrics are becoming worse and worse and worse. And musicians, because of these big companies that they're pushing the composers to write something that is very catchy and they can sell more records and things like that, music became something not respectable by music. Used to be sacred back then, okay? And musicians were a very sacred people because they were playing music and that was very sacred. And the sound is very sacred. But throughout the years, because of marketing, because of all kinds of things, because musicians want to become famous and have lots of money and all that, music is not respected. And I don't blame anybody, okay, for all that. I blame ourselves. Me, I'm the luckiest in the world because I have a platform that I can use music for something good. But I'm telling you, before I came here, in my head, I was suffering because I didn't want to do commercial music. I didn't want to write music for films because I don't like the films that are being produced in Hollywood. They are not giving any good message. Very, 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 very few movies giving some kind of a good message. So the whole art of creating movies, for me, is useless. So being part of that because you can make lots of money, then you're going to have someone tell you, no, 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 make it simple, make it more catchy. Don't, you know, and I'm not a guy who someone can tell me what to do, except Swami and my students, basically, nobody else. So the point is, I understand the parents, they were like, you're going to become some kind of musician and will be on the stage and you'll be like a monkey. You know what I mean? Headless. And then you're going to get into some kind of drugs and alcohol and smoking and doing all that kind of stuff. So that's what happened. But Swami here believes that music is extremely important, but I'm talking about Carnatic music, okay? And now he wants Western music, Western classical music, because it develops the mind. Many of the teachers that we have here, they are telling me, your students are extremely smart. The students who are in music, they develop the brain and they are extremely good in studies. For years and years, those students, my students, not because of me, not because of nothing, but because they're playing music and they develop the brain, they used to be always the best even in academics. And many teachers were wondering, what are you doing? I said, I'm not doing anything. It is the music that develops the mind. But your parents and every single parent think like, my son or my daughter will become a musician and will start doing all these weird things and everything, you know. I don't blame anybody, but every single profession has been spoiled, okay? Every single profession in our times is not pure. That is the main point.
Thank you, Dimitris. You know, there is this question that I've come across for quite some times when they talk about the A note 442 versus 440. Do you have any comment about that? Is that any truth to it?
It's called solfeggio frequencies and things like that. Actually, I asked Swami a few years ago. He wanted me to write a book about healing music. I said, Swami, I don't know anything. He said, you know. Swami, I don't know this kind of stuff. And at NYU, there was a department of healing music, and they had some kind of guitars playing some slow songs, peace, love, all kinds of things. And I was like, this is not healing music. The only country, the only place in the world that can talk about healing music is India, but not the modern India, not the Indian musicians right now, but the ancient rishis knew which raga and which scale, let's call it scale in the Western world, can help certain parts of the body. That kind of knowledge was lost basically throughout the years. And right now, believe it or not, not many people know about it. Nobody knows. In my opinion, only Swami knows. So anyway, Swami was trying to push me to do something like that, because Swami wants to take music to another level, not just be entertainment. He wants a businessman, for example, to not be just a businessman. He wants a businessman to become a philanthropist. He takes all of us to another level. So one day he was telling me to write a book about that. And I said, Swami, I don't know all these kinds of stuff. No, you know, he was insisting. So anyway, so then I asked him this question, Swami, you know, there is this kind of thing about 440 and 432 and everything. He said, that is nonsense. There is nothing like that. It's only about raga. Certain scales have certain energy. He said, it is not a frequency. So what happened with the 432, because 4 plus 3 plus 2, it creates the number 9. But if you change, so the number 9 is the perfect number and all this Pythagorean and Indian philosophy, okay, fine. But the point is, if you change the metric value, okay, we're talking about hertz, one sine wave every second, whatever, 432 sine waves per second. If the second has a different kind of metric value, what is going to happen? You know what I mean? So then I do not believe, I listen to all those kinds of things and they don't do anything. First of all, if you try to listen, actually, no, there are some examples online that they play something which is on the piano or the certain instruments tuned on 440, and they have something, the same piece on 432, and it sounds, the 432 sounds a little bit better, I should say. Okay, I've seen that. I like the 432 a little bit more, but if we tune it 444 also, I like that also. You know what I mean? Maybe we got used to 440 and we are like somewhat bored, but for sure, there is nothing there.
Right.
Okay, there is nothing. And Swami verified that when I asked him. I have recorded the interview.
I see. Thank you, brother. The one question reads, was it difficult to communicate initially with the rural student?
First of all, I have an extremely strong Greek accent. That's one problem. The kids here, all of them speak English. Okay. In India, because there are so many languages, the people in India are so smart in terms of language. They can learn a language extremely easy. Okay. That is the truth. But my accent, although I lived in America for so many years, my accent never changed. So my English accent was, in the beginning, they couldn't really understand. And, you know, they saw me and they were a little bit scared. Who is this weird guy? But for me, I opened the channel of communication by becoming a friend. And I broke this kind of barrier of being a teacher and all that kind of stuff. And that helped the communication more. But to be honest, the American accent, the students have a hardship to understand. The Greek English, there is also a big difficulty. There's big difficulty from the students to understand. So they told me that they do have difficulty, but at this moment they got used to my accent, and they can understand me more than anything else. But I do not believe there is a language barrier. There is mostly some kind of a connection and friendliness that has to be developed. And then, you know, we can understand each other. You know what I mean? That's what I believe.
Of course, of course. The next question is from my dear friend Beverly. She wants to know what instrument, what is the next instrument you like to learn, Dimitris?
If
Actually,
I show you in my room,
yeah,
and now I'm learning Kanun.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah, and of
Kanun
course,
is the Arabic
harp.
instrument.
You can see harp here. I'm trying to improve my skills on accordion. I have a Turkish instrument called jumbus that is there. Actually, I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to improve my skills on ney. You know ney, the
Oh, nay, the
Arabic,
yes,
yeah,
the
Arabic instrument. I have ordered handpan. You know, handpan is some kind of instrument, a
yes,
metal
yes.
instrument that. I'm going to go to the US very soon and go and pick it up from the maker. I don't know, you know. Lately, I kind of got a duduk, and I was learning duduk. Duduk is an Armenian instrument,
Oh, I see.
you know. Yeah. But the thing is, every single instrument has its own technique. Basically, harp, the harp, when the two harps came, the small one and this one is the big one. I haven't touched harp for 30 years or something. Okay. And okay, I started. I mean, back then I kind of tried to play. Then I moved to another country and moved to this, that. Anyway, I never had the harp myself. So before the harp came, the small harp came first, and then the big one came later. Okay. So I had this, before even the harp came, I went online to find videos. There was a lady here who actually helped me. She was a harpist, because the way how you play harp, you're plucking the string. You are not like just hitting the string like that. You have your finger here and you're plucking it. Okay. It's a different technique. Coming from guitar, for example, it's totally the opposite. You understand?
Of course.
So basically, I sat down and I did all these exercises and everything, because very soon the big harp is supposed to come, and someone had to teach the students. Who? Me. So I sat down and I started doing all those kinds of things and learn. It took me a few months. I learned myself and I taught the students. Now, for example, if you play Kanun, you have to use this kind of thing. You put it here, and you put this kind of thing, and you kind of pluck the string with this. That's another technique. And there are some kind of secrets on those techniques. I never stop. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course. Thank you.
And there are instruments actually that I have to improve them. I'm like, okay, you are not good on that. Now you have to improve. You have to find a method. You have to find a book, if there is a book. There's no book for the Duke, for example. So I go and I listen. Oh, how did he do all that? So even the instruments that I play right now, I'm trying to also improve them. The problem is the students, if they see me improving on something, they improve also. But how many instruments, how many things can you improve in your life?
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Brother, there is the one request from a dear friend says, can you please select 3 or 4 pieces of music by the student and send us those pieces? So when we talk to non-devotees for our meetings, and with potential donors we can use. Would that be possible? Great.
If you take the last video of the last performance and do your own editing and cut some parts and create some kind of a trailer, it will be fine. I think. Yeah.
The next question, Brother Dimitris.
Maybe I can just quickly explain.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
To Dimitris, yeah. You know, we meet a lot of the non-devotees.
Yeah.
In San Jose, in the Bay Area. And a lot of them also have this interest. How come rural students, you know, we're trying to sell a free medical college, make them into doctors. I think this musical experience will be a great way of telling them, look at the talent when it is taught correctly, inspiration, what we can produce. So I think I would like to use some of those pieces in our meetings with these people. Just
take the video of the last performance, as I said, and cut that part, cut that part, cut that part. You know, I guess you can do it for sure better than me. You know what I mean? And create some kind of a trailer. Some of my boys, they create some kind of a trailer. I don't know if you've seen that, which is pretty okay.
Okay, maybe you can just use that.
Yeah, we can use that, and you can definitely do your own. You know what I mean? Taking important parts of the concert. You know, when there is a solo, there is this and that, there is a melody of that song and that, and then when it shows the whole orchestra, then it focus on that person or some, you know, and create your own, so people can see the talent of these kids. And the main point is to show that those kids can do better than anybody else.
Yeah,
it's our own responsibility, and we like it or not, this is the best platform to show what's happening. You cannot go to the classes and show them, oh, you look, they are studying this and that. Unfortunately or fortunately, the best way to show them is by having those videos, I guess.
Yeah. And also keep us informed on this competition. You know, this is great news that the university has been selected to go to the Asian competition, the next level. That'll be
the Western music got first place and got the gold medal, and also the group singing of our institution got also a gold medal and are going to represent India. And one student got a third place in Hindustani music.
Wow.
Out of hundreds of universities, okay?
Amazing.
And a university that just started like 3-4 years ago. Like, come on, like, I mean, this is something. And with the rural kids, I mean, okay.
Yes, it's incredible.
All right, it's incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dimitris,
yes.
A question, if you don't mind me asking, is that you spend so many hours with your students. Is music also your spiritual practice, or you have your sadhana? Is music really your focus, entire focus throughout the day?
It cannot be music all day, okay? There was a point of time that I leaned towards more like reading spiritual books and things like that. There is a point of time that I leaned towards playing music and not doing something spiritual or something like that. But Swami doesn't like that. He wants both things. But we are already in a very spiritual place. Maybe the most spiritual place. Okay, even sitting here, you don't need to do anything. Okay, but for sure, the last years, especially during COVID, we had Swami started teaching Upanishads and all kinds of things. And he took few of us in the evening and he started teaching Advaita. Myself, Swami gave me a book in Puttaparthi of Nisargadatta. He came out of an interview. I was like 19, 20 years old, something like that. He came to me, he said, read this book. So I look at this book, I was like, what is this? And that I turned the book the other side, and I was like, what is this Nisargadatta? I don't understand. Leave it. So then the next day, Swami asked me again, did you read this book? Swami, start reading this book. So then I got with someone, his name Ratan Lal, Swami sent me to him so that I can learn more about Advaita. And he was talking about Ramana Maharshi, he was talking about all kinds of things. My kind of thing is mostly Advaita, but the Advaita that Swami taught during COVID, based on Astavakra Gita, it was, I never seen anything like that. I never heard anything like that. Most of the Advaita teachers, they talking about, this is useless. Serving kids is useless. Who's serving who? There's nobody there, nothing like that. The way how Swami taught Advaita, it was unique in a way that you do what you do, but you're not doing it. But you have to do it. Okay? One of the things that he was trying to point out was the fact that before you go to work, when you are home, you are in a certain state of mind. When you go to work, you have to be in the same way. When you come back, you have to be the same way. Nothing happened. So practical Advaita for people who are basically active, I never heard. I never seen something like that. Okay. So basically, as my sadhanas, the question is, I listen to those discourses and things like that. I'm mostly a follower of Advaita, but not the Advaita that I don't care about the kids, I don't care about anybody, not that kind of Advaita. And I'm here, of course, we have Swami's discourses and things like that. But sometimes when someone is too much into service, loses himself. So someone who is too much into spirituality also is not good. Swami feels that these are like two legs and they have to be the same kind of length. Okay, and walk together. So all of us, for me, because I like what I'm doing and I like the students, the last years, I tend towards mostly towards service. Okay, but that can be very distracting for service also, because if you don't have the spiritual values or the spiritual kind of thinking, you can lose yourself in service. So at some point, I was trying, and I'm still trying to balance myself, because my main problem is I like action, but action leads to something called viewership, and the viewership, you miss the point by having so much viewership. So it's extremely difficult to, or it's not easy to balance both things together. I see people who are reading and thinking about all these philosophies and everything, and there is so much work to be done, and they are telling you all kinds of philosophies. That drives me crazy. Okay, so I think I am, like all of you, trying to balance those two things as much as I can.
Of course, thank you. Brother, a couple of short questions. One of them says, what is your favorite piece of music?
There is no favorite piece. There's no favorite composers. I started playing Western music and piano and things like that. I had my grandfather who wanted me to become a bouzouki player. So I learned Greek music, so classical Greek music. Then I learned jazz, Latin jazz, Arabic music, which I love it. I love a lot. Then I came to India. I got to know about the Carnatic music, which is very deep, basically, and might be the first music style ever existed in this world. And I was listening to Carnatic music for years and years. I was buying all these cassettes back then in Puttapati, outside of the ashram, going to those places and buying all that stuff. And basically, I don't have a favorite style. I like all styles of music. I don't have a favorite piece. I don't have a favorite composer. If you see my playlist at home, it's jumping from this style to that style to that. Even I like to listen. I used to be also a avant-garde composer. So I was trying to make music that I never heard. I was trying to make sounds that I never heard. There are techniques in computer music, basically. So I went to all kinds of extremes, basically. But I cannot call myself Western classical. I cannot call myself Greek music. I don't like all that. I like all the styles, all styles of music. For example, in Japan, there is something called gagaku, which is the royal kind of music. Very weird music, very deep music, okay? If you listen to that, it's so mystical, so beautiful. So for many years also, I was trying to explore different styles from Alaska, because there are some tribes there that they sing, they make some kind of sounds, to go to all Asia, Africa, and every single country. What I was some kind of a musicologist, and I'm still actually trying to explore different styles. So I don't know. I don't have a favorite.
You love all musics.
Yeah, I like all actually, and I learn from everything.
Of course. The question came up again, where can we get the video from the last performance you mentioned? Is that available on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. The last performance was 13th of January, the last performance. Yes,
okay.
it's there. Or I'll send it to you, and you can send it to
Please, yes, I will share that
yeah.
with our friends.
Yeah.
And the last question, Dimitris, is how many students do you currently have?
I have 3 campuses. 100 should be 160, 170, something like that. And we are actually going to expand more now. Start the girls band again, because during COVID, so it's going to become around 200. The problem is this orchestra, it consists of 3 campuses: Muddenahalli, Mandya, and Gulbarga. Yeah, so I have some students here that I'm trying to make them learn. And mostly the elder students are doing the job. So then I have to go to Mandya. In Mandya, there is a mostly brass band for now. So Mandya has to improve. Gulbarga, there are some old students who, so I may send them there, because the Vedic studies are there, mathematics, and many other subjects are there. So it's like, it's very difficult. At some point, imagine London Symphony Orchestra is in 3 different places, and you go there, you go there, you go there, and then at the end, you're trying to bring those 3 pieces together and try to make them play and coordinate. And in the meantime, you don't know what to do. It's complicated. And it became even more complicated the last years because Swami wants to open the medical college here. So I had some kind of a big room for practice in Krupasagya. Krupasagya became now medical college in somehow. And the whole building was taken. And Swami, because there is no space here, Swami sent the students different campuses. The art students have to go to Mandya. All the other subjects have to go to Gulbarga. And the whole thing is like, logistically, to make it happen is, I don't know.
Non-trivial, non-trivial.
Yeah.
One devotee is asking if there's any chance you'll be performing in USA or coming back to USA.
Usually, I have people who are asking me, all these good musicians from India and everything who are coming here, they're asking me to go outside and perform with them. And I totally refuse unless if someone can come here and help the children. Okay, so I refuse, and some of them get, of course, upset. And what I've seen, many of the musicians, they come here, they play, and they go, they get the blessings. I don't understand this word blessing anyway. For me, blessing is blessing the students, not blessing yourself. That's a different story. So they are not going to Swami and say, Swami, can I teach the students Carnatic violin, Veena, whatever, They just come here and play and just go. That upsets me a lot between us. So I stopped. They call me and they try to get me outside and play or go to certain other countries and play together. And I said, no, unless I'm not telling them straight, but unless I see they're helping our students here, I'm not going to go anywhere to play. So I cut all the ties with everything because I want to focus on my project. If there is some kind of a reason for the students, for me to go and play somewhere, now with my students, I'm not playing, I don't want to play with anybody. Only when my students are at present and they're playing with me and there is some kind of a specific reason. For me to go and play outside to prove, I'm good and things like that, it's pointless. There is no point. I don't want to prove anything.
Of course.
Yeah, the US, of course, I'm coming almost once a year because I have my daughter in New York. So I go to see my daughter, but now my daughter also is coming here. So I don't have a problem with that. But I think this April I might go to the US because the new instrument is ready, is going to be ready. And I need to buy some books for the students and do things like that. But if there is some kind of event for the institution, for the whole thing, for some kind of a purpose, I'm always open. Otherwise, I'm not open.
Thank you, brother. This is the last question. I keep saying this is the last question.
It's okay, no problem.
They love you. They keep sending you more questions, but hopefully, I know that we've taken quite a bit of your time. So we'll,
no
this
problem.
is the last question, and it's by a very dear friend. It says, the 4th World Cultural Festival will be held in Washington, D.C., September 29 to October 1st this year. can the Sai Symphony Orchestra perform at this international event?
Ask Swami, and if Swami says yes,
Okay.
we'll go.
That's it.
This year, actually, we have to go to Singapore, and we're going to Singapore to perform. And the president of Singapore will be there, and all kinds of people, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, but if there is, yeah, of course, we are all, I mean, if there is a reason, and you know what I mean?
Right.
Of course.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And Swami says, yes, go ahead. Yeah,
The-
definitely. Definitely. Yes. yes,
Dimitris,
yes.
brother, I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you
We
so
are
much.
really in debt to you for sharing all this wonderful experience. And I hope that we get to see you again on the program. Everybody, I mean, I'm sure everybody is greatly enjoying all the experiences you share, and we still love to hear a lot more. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you.
Dimitris.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you.
Okay.
Bye.
Sai-ram. Sai-ram.
Sai-
Bye.
Vivek, do we end with
One Om and three Shanti. Om.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Sai-ram all. Sai-ram. Thank you for your time. Thank you, brother Dimitris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Sai-ram.
Sarah, Sarah.